One day, people are going to look back at this exact moment and realize the signs were always there. The subtle clues, the carefully chosen words, the symbolic timing. It was all pointing toward one of the most anticipated weddings of this decade. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce might still be basking in their engagement glow, but their next chapter has already captured the world's imagination. Fans, insiders, and even their own families have dropped hints about what's coming. And if you know anything about these two, you know this won't be a standard walk down the aisle. It's going to be deliberate, emotional, and loaded with meaning. Taylor isn't the kind of person who does anything halfway. Every album rollout, every music video, every surprise performance is part of a bigger picture she's painting for her audience. And Travis? He might be an NFL powerhouse, but he's also thoughtful in ways that make him a perfect match for her. Remember the friendship bracelet moment that started everything? It wasn't just a cheesy pickup line. It was a calculated gesture that set their entire story into motion. So when it comes to planning their wedding, expect that same level of intention and care. Engagement and ring, the starting point. Let's start at the beginning, the proposal. Travis Kelce didn't propose in some flashy, over-the-top way designed to go viral on social media. Instead, he chose his own backyard in Missouri, a space filled with flowers and intimate energy. It was private, personal, and most importantly, it was theirs. That detail alone says a lot about what kind of wedding we might expect. Less spectacle, more substance. The ring itself became a story of its own. Designed with the help of Kindred Lubeck at Artifacts Fine Jewelry, it carried a vintage feel that perfectly matched Taylor's aesthetic. She's always been someone who draws from history, from old Hollywood glam to folk traditions. A vintage-inspired ring wasn't just about style, it was a reflection of her values. Timeless, rooted in storytelling, and crafted with meaning. And Travis didn't just wing it. Comedian Andrew Santino spilled that Travis had been planning this moment for months, even mentioning his proposal intentions during a spring golf outing. That means the entire summer was spent fine-tuning details, waiting for the right time, and building anticipation. When Taylor's dad, Scott Swift, got the traditional "May I have your daughter's hand" conversation from Travis 16 days before the world found out, it showed a deep level of respect. Ed Kelce, Travis's dad, later said it best. "It doesn't matter where you do it. Asking her is what makes it special." That wisdom carried through into the proposal itself, setting the tone for what's to come. Personal, symbolic, and heartfelt. Timeline and season. When it might happen. Now, let's talk about timing, because this might be one of the most carefully chosen elements of all. Reports suggest Taylor and Travis are aiming for early next year. On the surface, that could mean spring 2026. But let's look closer. Travis's NFL career looms large over the planning. If the Chiefs make it deep into the postseason, his availability shrinks dramatically. The Super Bowl lands in early February, which makes the weeks immediately afterward the most logical window for a wedding. Training camp doesn't start until July, so there's a clear 5-month gap where a big event could fit. But Taylor isn't just working around football. She's also someone who pays obsessive attention to dates. Look back at her past album releases. The numbers, the anniversaries, the Easter eggs. Swifties know that 13 is her lucky number, that she loves meaningful anniversaries, and that she has a knack for aligning life events with symbolic timing. It wouldn't be shocking if their wedding date holds some secret connection. Whether it's tied to a past album, a milestone in their relationship, or even something hidden in plain sight for fans to decode later. There's also the question of geography. Do they tie the knot in Missouri, where Travis's roots are strong? In Tennessee, where Taylor has a deep connection to her music career? Or do they surprise everyone with a destination ceremony somewhere symbolic? Right now, nothing is confirmed, but knowing this couple, the choice will be about more than convenience. It'll be about meaning. Guest list and venue vibes. When people imagine Taylor Swift's wedding, they picture a glittering guest list with every A-lister under the sun. But according to multiple reports, that's not what Taylor and Travis want. Instead, they're leaning toward intimacy. That doesn't mean small necessarily, but it does mean intentional. Think family, close friends, longtime collaborators, not a free-for-all celebrity party. This is significant because Taylor has lived most of her adult life under a microscope. If she wanted to turn her wedding into a publicity event, she easily could. Instead, the choice to focus on closeness speaks to how she views her relationship with Travis. Private, grounding, and real. And then there's the venue itself. Will it be a grand estate hidden away from cameras or something more rustic and personal? Taylor has always been drawn to classic Americana imagery, fields, barns, folklore-inspired backdrops. A venue that nods to that aesthetic would fit perfectly. On the other hand, Travis might lean towards something celebratory and fun, reflecting his extroverted energy. Finding the balance between those two styles could shape the entire event. Fashion and ceremony details. Now let's get into what everyone is dying to know. The dress. Designers are already tripping over themselves to dress Taylor for this wedding. She has reportedly been flooded with offers, from couture legends to up-and-coming names hoping to land the most watched gown of the decade. But here's the catch. Taylor is overwhelmed and hasn't made a decision yet. That's very on brand for her. She doesn't pick just to pick. She picks when something feels authentic. So what might she wear? Look back at her past. Taylor has always balanced timeless elegance with modern storytelling. She could easily go the traditional route, lace, vintage lines, classic silhouettes, or she could surprise everyone with something bolder, like a two-dress strategy. One for the ceremony, one for the reception. Fans shouldn't be surprised if the gown itself carries Easter eggs, whether it's subtle embroidery referencing her lyrics or colors that tie back to her albums. As for Travis, he's no stranger to bold suits and fashion risks. Expect him to look sharp but not bland. A classic tux might anchor his look, but he'll likely add personal touches, something that nods to his own personality without clashing with Taylor's vision. Together, they'll be the perfect mix of refined and personal. Music, atmosphere, and rituals. This might be the easiest detail to predict. Music will be everything. Travis has already admitted they're more live music people than DJ fans. That opens the door for a wedding soundtrack unlike any other. Imagine their favorite artists performing live, maybe even some of Taylor's own band members. The possibility of Taylor herself singing at her own wedding is slim, but you never know. She's full of surprises, and if there's one night where she'd break her own rules, it might be this one. Beyond music, the atmosphere will be intimate. Expect warm lighting, natural flowers, and little nods to both of their personalities. And then there's the Easter egg factor. Taylor doesn't do anything without leaving behind clues. Maybe the floral arrangements will mirror her album aesthetics. Maybe the color palette will be a nod to Lover. Maybe the vows themselves will include subtle references to songs. Fans will be analyzing every detail for years to come. Challenges and what could throw them off. Of course, no wedding is without challenges, and this one has more than most. Scheduling is the first hurdle. Travis's NFL commitments and Taylor's global career leave little room for flexibility. Then there's privacy. With millions of fans desperate for a glimpse, how do you keep a wedding sacred? Some couples can lock down secrecy, but this one will need airtight planning to prevent leaks. Then there's pressure. Let's be real. This isn't just two people getting married. This is one of the biggest cultural events in recent memory. That level of expectation can be crushing. Every choice, from the dress to the cake flavor, will be dissected. But if there's one thing Taylor and Travis have proven, it's that they know how to block out the noise and focus on what matters. Conclusion: what we can expect and why it matters. So, what does all of this add up to? A proposal that set the stage for something deeply personal. A timeline likely built around football and numerology. A guest list trimmed to the people who matter most. Fashion that will make history. Music that tells a story, and an atmosphere full of Easter eggs and symbolism. What makes this wedding so captivating isn't just the scale, it's what it represents. Two people who have built their lives in the public eye choosing to create something sacred, personal, and meaningful together. For Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the details aren't just details, they're pieces of a love story being written in real time, one that fans will be decoding long after the bouquet has been tossed. When the day finally arrives, it won't just be a wedding, it'll be a cultural moment. And every flower, every lyric, every smile will remind us why the world has been waiting for this chapter.